Hey there, it's Coach Action Jackson from Action Jackson Fitness. I'm overwhelmed, overjoyed, and just bursting with energy. Excited to bring you another crazy, incredible, mind-blowing client transformation story. Now, today's interview is with a client who hasn't even finished the program yet. But Taylor's results were so incredible, I had to share this story with you. Taylor is a former college athlete that was just stuck in a rut, lacking confidence, didn't know what to do next, and didn't have a plan to make any kind of progress. But after struggling for months, Taylor finally pulled the trigger, signed up with your boy Coach Action Jackson, and is now back in the game. I don't want to steal any thunder from the interview, but you're going to hear about a complete, not only physical transformation, but a mental transformation, and again, in only 4 weeks. Here's what Taylor had to say.
My experience has been super great. I've noticed a lot of results in a really quick amount of time, which is definitely why I wanted to meet up with you here. I've lost 15 pounds during my first phase, which was more than I even thought I could lose. So that's been a huge win for me. And the workouts have been really great. And I'm just cruising right along and looking forward to what's happening next.
Wow, 15 pounds in like what, 4 or 5 weeks?
In 4 weeks, yeah.
Holy cow, that's incredible. Now, a lot of people would think that to lose that much weight in such a short period of time, you'd have to do some type of crash diet or like basically starve yourself. Now, has that been the case?
Definitely not. I think I did start intermittent fasting right away. So I'm not to say that I haven't been hungry during my fasting period, but I have never been hungry during the times that I'm eating, which was super surprising to me. I've been eating just exactly the right amounts and to be able to move forward and get through my day and things like that. So that's been pretty cool too.
Wow, that's incredible. So now that you're 15 pounds down, like why don't you rewind a little bit and tell us, where did you start when you began this whole journey?
Yeah, I will say I've always been active for sure, but a couple injuries from college sports, I think, really set me back. And at the point of starting this program, I didn't know what to do. I was pretty directionless, still trying to be active, but I just, like I said, I had no direction. I had no forward progress. I had nothing that I was tracking, no measurements, and therefore I wasn't seeing any forward progress or movement. Yeah, I was pretty down about it, to be honest. Like I said, I had always been an athlete and always been active, and I wasn't seeing the results that I have had in the past. And so that's been really big too, just mentally.
So former athlete, and then you kind of fell off. And did that start to affect you mentally as well as physically?
Yeah, absolutely. It took away a lot of my confidence. To not be able to do the things that I wanted to be able to do. And not having a plan to start getting back in was not helpful to me. And this is exactly what your program gave me, was a plan to move forward and get back to where I knew I could be.
Now, why don't you tell me, like, what was the catalyst, if you will, to get that spark going, to get you to start? Because I remember we spoke quite a while ago, and then there was even some time between when we spoke and even when you finally came aboard.
Yeah, I think I was just tired of being unhappy. I think you kind of hit a low point when it's just like, why am I continuing to do this when I have an actionable plan in front of me that I just need to take the first step to do?
Wow. So you just kind of one day was like, you know what? I'm so fed up with this. I'm going to make a change. And
Yeah.
I'm Paul Jackson, and I'm going to freaking do this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been on board wholeheartedly ever since. And I'm really glad that I'm doing it the whole way.
Awesome. So the physical changes are obviously great. You're getting back to, that athletic body that you had before. And I'm sure that's been great with clothes fitting better and all that. But you mentioned some of the mental changes as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, how's your mindset changed from when you started to now where you're 5 weeks in?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I can do anything, you know what I mean? Like, and also because I've made it this far in the program, like, cause at the start, this seemed like so impossible and so out there. And now that I'm already, cruising through, I can keep going and keep finishing. I think the steps that you have us take particularly in the morning routine, has been huge. I love waking up in the morning and taking a couple extra minutes for myself and stretching and listening to motivational videos. I love making the shower really cold, although I kind of hate it, but I really love it, just because I can do it, and I know I can make it through, and it's energizing. It's great.
Wow, that's so incredible. And that like lights me up. I'm getting excited just listening to you talk about how you went from this position where, I don't know, it almost feels like you felt like a little powerless to now just taking full control of your life and just having that like I can do anything kind of attitude. It's just
Yeah.
It really just comes out from your voice and everything. It's incredible.
Yeah, totally. I'm applying for new jobs. I'm fixing the things that I need to get fixed, and that's pretty cool.
Wow, I think that's one of the most overlooked things when it comes to any type of transformation program. People think it's all about just the weight or the physical body, how you look, and they overlook the mindset changes. And here you are talking about how you're taking back control of your life. You feel better than ever. Your confidence is up. You're applying for new jobs. I mean, I feel like you can do anything right now.
Yeah, no, me too. I love that.
That's awesome. And another thing you mentioned was that you don't dread the mornings anymore.
Yeah, totally. I love taking that time. And, I starting to look at my workouts that way too. I remember when I started, I was going back and forth. Should I do 3 days? Should I do 4 days? Like, can I commit that much time to myself? And, I hate that I had to think about that like, I can't take 45 minutes, 4 days a week to commit to that, I don't know, self-care time. And, it's my time, and I sit and I listen to music and I'm sweating and I'm working, and like, I think that's been a huge mental shift for me too, that I'm worth taking the time for. And, yeah, so that's been really good too. And also with my mornings, that's something I will continue long after this program.
That's awesome. And I think another thing you mentioned there was like self time, taking time for me.
Yeah.
And so many people are doing things all the time for others that they don't take that time for themselves. And it's really by taking that time for yourself that you can then be better for other people.
Absolutely. And I've definitely noticed that with my partner. Like, I can come home and be there for her and be engaged. And yeah, that's been huge for me too.
Wow, that is so cool. Well, one last question before we kind of wrap this up was like, you talked a little bit about this transformation, and obviously diet is one of those things that people dread. That think like, oh my God, the diet. And you mentioned it hasn't been very restrictive and you've been able to manage it. Why don't you just talk a little bit more about like, how have you managed the diet and been able to overcome that obstacle?
Yeah, for me, I think before I started, one of my biggest problems was just knowing what to eat, right? I'd be at the grocery store and I've got, 1,000 things and like, what should I be eating? And having it laid out has been so helpful. I've been going to Costco a lot and using that Costco grocery shopping list and really utilizing that. And I get things in bulk, and I come home, and 2 nights a week, I spend an hour and a half and I cook my meals till the next, jumping point. I go on Saturday and Wednesday because I don't work out on those days, and I cook until the next Saturday and the next Wednesday. And it took some finagling and figuring out, but for example, with my eggs now, I cook them in a muffin tin so that I can bring them with me to work to go, and it's easy to heat up if I need to, or things like that. And you just kind of start noticing little things, and now it's just like clockwork and science, and I've got it down. And it's been really helpful to just have everything laid out, and it takes the decision out of it for me. It makes it easy. One less decision to make during the day.
Amazing. And I think that's another big insight is reducing your decisions through the day and making it easier on yourself, like setting yourself up to win, which so few people do. They go through their week or their day or whatever, and they just kind of get bounced around and oh, I'm hungry, now let me just go eat whatever, as opposed to making those decisions
Totally.
and setting themselves up for success.
Yeah, when I'm hungry, I go and get my pre-made little thing out of the fridge, and that's it.
That's incredible. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. So like any last parting thoughts to anybody who's out there thinking to themselves like, wow, Taylor's amazing, but I don't think I can do this. Any last thoughts to somebody out there like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was right there. Like you said, I talked to you and I waited a couple months before I joined up, and, don't waste another day. It's, if I can do it, you can do it. And I've had that thought many times during this program. So I think you just got to take that first step, and you got to, care about yourself enough to do it.
That's great advice to anybody out there who's on the fence about starting a new transformation program. So
Yeah.
Taylor, thank you so much, not only for investing in yourself, but for taking the time to talk to me. Again, like just listening to you talk just like chokes me up inside, because this is why I do this. Is like I just love helping people just like you, and to see the transformation and to hear the confidence coming through your voice. And you're talking about like having a better relationship with your partner, like just taking more control of your mornings, applying for jobs. It's just all amazing. And just thank you again so much for investing in yourself and for doing this. It's incredible to see the changes.
I just have to say, thank you so much, Taylor, for joining me, for sharing your story. I lived such an incredible life, getting to work with such amazing people just like Taylor and all the other incredible clients I've worked with over the years. It's just, God, it's just humbling. It's incredible. And oh man, there's so many gold nuggets and goodies that you can pull from this interview. One major takeaway from the interview was how Taylor talked about struggling and really feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, but then just taking action and moving forward anyway. Another big, huge takeaway I had was that feeling Taylor had about I'm just so sick of this, and hitting that breaking point where you just can't take it anymore and you need to do something, because the pain of changing is far less than the pain of staying the same. Another big takeaway I had from the interview was about confidence, and just how confidence radiated from Taylor's voice, talking about better relationships, applying for jobs, just all the things that fitness can spill over into. Fitness is really what we call a domino habit. It's one of those things that when you get fit and when you start working out and you start changing your body and transforming your body, it really bleeds into every aspect of life, from your personal relationships to your finances to your career, just how you feel about yourself. It's really incredible. And you heard that directly from Taylor, talking about confidence, better relationships, and just a better life. And the last big takeaway I had from the interview was when Taylor talked about mornings and how all of a sudden making a few small, subtle changes to a morning routine can dramatically shift the way you think about your morning and the tone of the rest of your day. And it's just an example how just a few degrees of change, or just like one small shift, can really have compounding dramatic change across your days, across your weeks, and even across your months, leading to a loss of 15 pounds in only 4 weeks, but also the mindset changes and the shift in every single day, the confidence. It's just incredible. Thank you again, Taylor, for joining me and for sharing your story. I'm just so blessed and grateful. And thank you out there for watching. And I hope you got a lot of good gold nuggets from this interview. Now, before I close off this interview, I just want to say, if you're in a position similar to Taylor, where you're struggling, you're kind of spinning your wheels, you don't know what to do next, your confidence is lacking, and you're just like, oh, Jackson, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. My energy levels, just how I feel about myself when I look in the mirror, like how my clothes fit. I don't want this anymore. And if you're starting to hit that breaking point, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to let me know, talk to me. Let's jump on the phone. Let's have a conversation about what you're struggling with. Let's talk about your goals, and let's see if my coaching program will be a good fit to help you completely transform your life, not just physically, but also mentally, just like it did for Taylor. I'm Coach Action Jackson. I'll see you later.